What is going on, everybody? WeedleTwineedle here, and we are back with another Sun and Moon Wi-Fi battle, and this one's going to be against Alyssa. Now, I battle my opponent on my Discord server, so if you guys are interested in battling me, or other people in general, definitely check out my Discord. A link will be in the description. Now, looking at my opponent's team, she has Mega Sableye, Shedinja, and Tapu Fini, a pretty decent core. I expected a Chansey to be next to those three Pokemon, but surprisingly, my opponent does not have Chansey with Mega Sableye. Kind of surprising, honestly. She also carries Dugtrio, Volcarona, and Tapu Lele, so a pretty annoying team, honestly, but I feel like I have the tools in my team in this game to work around it, because I do have Specs Exploud. My opponent honestly has no switch-ins outside of Shedinja for the Exploud, and I also have some Pokemon you guys suggested, such as Mawile, Chimecho, and Stunfisk. A lot of people suggested Chimecho, so I figured I have to make a team revolving around Chimecho, so that's why the Combustion is on this team, as you will see. But I'm going to lead off with my Exploud, as my opponent is going to lead off with his Sableye. So turn one, I figured that he would just go for the switch, because the reason why I let off with my Explode is because I need to make sure my opponent does not get the free Mega off with Sableye, because I need to get Stealth Rocks up this game to deal with the Shedinja, because otherwise Shedinja is actually really annoying for my team to deal with, and I do carry Stealth Rocks on my Stunfisk, so I left with Explode just so Sableye would be forced to take Boom Burst if she wanted to Mega Evolve, so that's why I did that. So here, pivot into Will-O-Wisp with my Combustion, as the opponent does go for the Protect to scout my move. I do carry Substitute on my Combustion, as now I'm going to gain a speed boost, and now my opponent is in a very bad position. She's going to be forced to switch out her Shed Shell and bring in her Nami, her Tapu Fini, and get the Misty Surge up to pivot into the Will-O-Wisp. Very good play on her part, but I did predict that and went for the Baton Pass, so thankfully I'm able to Baton Pass out of here, and I decide to just bring back in my Exploud here, because Exploud does so much work to my opponent's team. The only switch in he has is his Shedinja, and Shedinja really can't do much to Explode, because we saw what its moves are: Will-O-Wisp and Protect. That means his other moves are limited to like Baton Pass, Sword Stand, Shadow Sneak, and Exorcist, and he can't have all four of those moves. So I know pretty much half of his moveset already, so that's good for me. So here, he's going to Moonblast and knock out my sub, but the Boom Burst does so much damage, and I do outspeed the Tapu Fini, so I'm going to be able to knock him out the next turn easily, and he does need this thing for defog support later on in the game, so I figured from that damage he knows I'm definitely choice back, so he's definitely going to switch into his Shedinja, so I choose to double switch into my Stunfisk, predicting the Shedinja, because I do carry Toxic and Stealth Rocks, and the Sableye is not Mega Evolve, so I have the prime opportunity to set up my Stealth Rocks, so the Shedinja and Volcarona can have to switch in willy-nilly. In the Shedinja's case, it's just going to die, so I get my Stealth Rocks up here, so I pretty much force the Tapu Fini to go for defog. So that's good for me. The Shedinja does go for Sword Stance here. It does absolutely nothing, and I kind of forget about the Misty Terrain there. I'm like, I'm not going to just Toxic you, but my opponent knew about the Misty Terrain and worked around that pretty well, but now the Misty Terrain wears off, so my opponent makes a very aggressive play, bringing in her Tapu Fini, expecting me to Toxic again, but I am way smarter than that. I figured my opponent would switch into Tapu Fini, so I go for the Discharge and just obliterate this Tapu Fini. I would say this is a choke on my opponent's part. Not to say that this move wasn't a good play, because it definitely was, but I'm too smart to fall for that kind of stuff, honestly. I knew that if she got the defog off, she was in a pretty good position with Volcarona at that point, and then she could have set up and done a lot of work, but I knew if I just kept the Stealth Rocks up there, I was in the greatest position possible. So even if I took an extra hit there with Shedinja, discharging was my best play, and it worked out for me. So now the Shedinja's dead upon Stealth Rocks switching, as now he switches into his Sableye here instead of his Dugtrio. That kind of confused me a lot, because Dugtrio traps my Stunfisk, and he has no reason not to switch it in, and he does take a big chunk of damage with the Sableye there as well. I'm not too sure why my opponent's playing so weird. In comes Dugtrio here. Now my opponent realizes that, hey, maybe Dugtrio is the better play here. So now the Dugtrio is shiny, has those blue noses, and now he's going to go for the Earthquake onto my Stunfisk, and now I'm going to go for the Earth Power onto the Dugtrio, do a decent chunk of damage, but the Dugtrio takes it pretty well actually, as now the Dugtrio is just going to knock me out with the Earthquake. I can't switch out, obviously, because of Arena Trap. There's actually a suspect test going on right now for Dugtrio, because Smogon wants to ban it, and this battle, it doesn't really get to showcase why it's really strong, but I definitely agree that Dugtrio is very strong, but I don't think it should be banned. I think that trapping mechanics are very unique, and Dugtrio's is not broken because there's a lot of counterplay to that, because there's Ghost types, there's Shut Shell, and you can just be a Flying type or have a Levitate and just be immune to it, and it doesn't, it got an increased attack stat, so that's also a factor, but I think that should not be banned. But anyway, the Dugtrio is going to go for the Earthquake onto my Combustion, and The reason why I switched into Combuskin here, because now that the Shedinja is dead, it's a prime opportunity for my Chimecho to do a little bit of work, because I only have 2 offensive moves, which are Psychic and Fairy coverage, which obviously cannot hit Shedinja, so I needed to take that thing out so the Chimecho could start doing work, because looking at my opponent's team, my Chimecho setup actually can do a lot of work after I get rid of some certain threats. So I'm starting to get a bunch of speed boosts out with my Combuskin here, as now I finally decided Baton Pass. I could have gotten more speed boosts just to be, just to get, just to be a little secure, but honestly, I don't really care. I'm going to bring in my Chimecho here, expecting him to go for the Earthquake, as thankfully I'm able to pivot into the Earthquake, and now my Chimecho is pretty strong, as my opponent realizes that he really can't touch me. He's going to choose to sack off a Shedinja here. It's going to get destroyed by Stealth Rocks. Poor Shedinja, man. Did not deserve to die like that, but unfortunately, entry hazards do exist, so Shedinja's existence is kind of like irrelevant. So I'm gonna go for the Calm Mind here, figuring that, he really couldn't touch me, as now in comes the Sableye, and I'm like, alright Sableye, you don't really scare me that much, because I do carry a weakness policy on this thing. Yes, I carry a weakness policy on everything, guys. It's like my fetish. I love weakness policy, and on this set, there's a certain reason why I'm running it. Now, I have the speed boost, obviously to help Chimecho because it's a slow Pokemon, but here, Sableye's going to go for knockoff. I'm going to take it very well because I'm max defense, max HP, going to get my weakness policy off here, so now I'm all set to do work. So, yes, it is time. It's time to do some work. So I'm going to go for the Dazzling Gleam here with my Chimecho and knock out the Sableye. So that thing is dead, and now my Chimecho is very strong. He's going to bring in Top Wheel, and I'm like, yes, it's time. Set up that Psychic Terrain for me so I can just destroy you with my Psychic move, and I can just win the game. So Chimecho's out here, and the Tapu Lele outspeeds me, and I'm like, no! But I live with 4 HP, and I'm just like, holy shit, what is this game? So I'm gonna Stored Power here. I have so many boosts at this point, it is honestly unreal, and Stored Power is just gonna knock out the Tapu Lele. So the buff to Chimecho's stats this gen allowed me to live there. Honestly, I'm pretty sure they buffed Chimecho's defenses by 10 this generation, so the fact that they did that allowed Chimecho to live that there, and now I'm able to recover, expecting the Sucker Punch, but he goes for Stone Edge instead. I guess he doesn't carry Sucker Punch, but now I can just go for the Stored Power onto the Dugtrio and knock him out. So down goes the Dugtrio, and that's going to die, and all he has left is the Volcarona, I'm pretty sure, and that's going to take half from Stealth Rocks, and since Psychic Terrain is up, my Stored Power is honestly ridiculously powerful, so I'm going to go for the Stored Power again. That's 200 base power at this point, and that's just going to knock out the Volcarona, and we're able to get a nice late game Chimecho sweep. So yes, this battle was very fun. I didn't even get to showcase off Mawile or Alolan Muck, but I did use them because you guys suggested it, and I hope you guys enjoyed the battle. But if you did enjoy the battle and want to see more content from me, definitely hit the like battle, hit the like battle, hit the like battle. It definitely keeps me inspired to upload and help support my channel, and I really appreciate you guys' continuing support. It really means the world to me. And the question of the day is going to be, what is your favorite Pokemon to use competitively and why? My favorite Pokemon to use competitively in an actual match recently has got to be Terrakion. I think Terrakion's really strong. I know it's a legendary, so obviously it's strong, but honestly it has Fighting, Rock Stab, which is honestly underrated, and Stealth Rocks and Taunt, and it has Sword Stance. It has access to a lot of moves, and it's honestly very scary and underrated at the moment, and especially with Fighting Z moves and Rock Z moves, it's pretty threatening. But that's going to be the battle, guys. Thank you so much for watching. I'll check you guys in my next video. Alright, peace.